Hi, fourth graders. Welcome back to reading class. Happy Thursday. I hope you have had a great week so far. This week we are reviewing something that we have already talked about, but it is a very important concept when it comes to reading. So we thought that we would go back and we would review it, and that is talking about themes. So what is the theme of the story and why is it important? On Tuesday, I showed you this, and that we said that the theme is the message or the moral. And in the word theme, it kind of gives you a clue of what a theme is. So you have that word the, and then you have your M, and that M can stand for message or moral. So when you're thinking about theme, you're thinking about the message or the moral of your story. We said that the theme is what the author wants you to learn from your story, and that the author is not going to explicitly state it. They're not going to come out and say the theme of the story is. You often have to infer the theme. You have to think about, what did I learn? What did my main character learn? And a lot of times, based on who is reading the story, our theme is going to be different than our classmates. You can have more than one theme in each story. So when we read Rosie Revere Engineer on Tuesday, we said that there were two themes. So our stories can have more than one theme. Your theme is not going to be specific to the story you're reading. It's not going to have characters' names, characters' problems, settings, any of that. So different stories can have the same themes, and you've probably read different stories that have the same theme. And the theme is going to be universal. It's going to apply to everyone who reads the story, everyone who hears the story, fourth graders, teachers, parents, whoever reads that story, it is going to apply to their life. We talked about on Tuesday some questions to help us find the theme. So the first question is, how did the character respond to the conflict or the challenge? Did the character make a good or bad choice? And what happened to the character as a result? What can we learn from that decision? Did the character learn anything from their decision? And how can you apply that to your own life? What did the character learn after they made their big choice? And would you do the same thing as the character? If you were faced with a challenge in the book that you are reading, would you do the same thing? Why or why not? And why? And what do you think the author is trying to teach you from the events of that story? So we are going to watch a quick video together. Now, this video is about themes, and it's going to give you examples from different movies, but we can use those same strategies to find the themes of video. So it's going to give you some information and some examples from movies. It's going to have some movie clips in there, and he's going to talk about what is the theme and how we find it.
What's the theme? You don't know what a theme is? Your fifth grade teacher ain't taught you nothing? We're going to talk about what a theme is. Yo, Darius here, and today is all about themes. So if you're a little hazy on the whole what is a theme thing, stay tuned, because I'm going to confuse you. Totally kidding. I wouldn't do that to you guys. I love you guys. So I guess we should probably start with, what is a theme? Maybe. Definition. Theme. A central idea in a piece of writing or other work of art. You can think of it as the meaning, the life lesson, or the moral of the story. Themes don't have character names and plot details in them. When we're talking about themes, we're talking about a universal concept that is much bigger than the characters or the story that you create. These abstract ideas or observations can be applied to, well, everybody. Me, you, this guy. Well, maybe not that guy, but theme is more or less the writer or filmmaker's message to the audience. Any good film or screenplay can have many themes. Some themes are insanely obvious and others are more subtle. For example, you could say that a theme for Finding Nemo is, through friendship, you can overcome your fears and insecurities. Doesn't have a character, doesn't mention any plot points, and it's a universal concept. Can be applied to me, you, or this guy. What theme isn't? Well, a theme is not communicated in one word. It's about love, friendship, family. These aren't really themes, they're just subjects or topics. However, you can use the subject to help you find a theme. Themes are observations, opinions, or ideas about the subject of a movie. For example, the subject of a movie could be revenge, but the theme could be revenge destroys everything and everyone, including the person seeking it. How do you find a theme? Well, there are a few different ways. Let's talk about that. 1. Look at your protagonist's journey. How does your main character change throughout the course of the story? What do they learn? If you substitute your main character for, say, all of mankind, then your protagonist's journey and how they change can be a theme. For example, in Iron Man, Tony Stark begins the film as a naive war profiteer, but over the course of the film, he realizes the destructive impact of his actions and takes full responsibility for them. So based on his character arc, you could say that a theme is, we must all take responsibility for our own actions because at the end of the day, nobody else will. And another theme could be, no matter how many mistakes you've made, it's never too late to set things right. 2. Look at the central conflict of the story. What are the opposing forces? Which one wins? And if so, why? And by forces, I mean the more abstract, generalized definition. For example, in The Terminator, the two opposing forces are man and machine. You could say that the theme is, no matter how advanced our creations become, they can never replace the human spirit. Arnold Schwarzenegger was all swole up with his, metal skeleton and everything, but we still won. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I love you, bro, but you lost. Machines took an L. 3. Sometimes a character can just flat out state a theme of the movie. Doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does. For example, in The Incredibles, just before Bob tries to fight the Omnibot alone at the climax, his wife Helen says this:
I'm asking you to wait with the kids.
And I'm telling you, not a chance. You're my husband, I'm with you. For better or worse, if we work together, you won't have to be.
So if you've seen the movie, you understand that Bob has had trouble embracing this whole marriage/family thing, and his wife Helen is pretty much outright flat saying, if we work together, we can conquer anything. Theme? With family and marital unity, anything is possible. Boom! That was actually kind of good. I like the way I worded that. I'm going to write that one down. No. You want to avoid being too vague or obvious with your themes. For example, family is awesome. Love is blind. Love conquers all. Friendship is important. Yeah, I'm just not digging those. There's more. It's worth mentioning that themes can be horribly subjective. 2 different people can read the same script or watch the same movie and walk away with 2 completely different themes. Sometimes a film can have conflicting themes, or sometimes people can see themes in a piece of work or film that the filmmaker outright rejects or didn't intend to be there. Somebody could easily think that the theme for Man of Steel is never trust aliens. Hey, it's subjective. He wouldn't be wrong. The general rule of thumb is, if you see it, you own it. We bring our own life experiences into the scripts that we read and the films that we watch. The way that we interpret the meaning of what we see is also informed by our own life experiences. As a result, people will inherently see different messages and meanings. So whatever themes you see, they're absolutely true for you. Now, of course, all the examples that I used earlier are all based on my own subjective experience. So, which means you gotta come up with your own theme, fool. I do believe that's all I got for you suckers deeper now. Booyah!
Okay, so let's talk about what was important that he said in that video. Maybe not. So, themes do not have character names or plot details. We talked about on Tuesday that if you include character names or plot details, you're giving me the main idea of the story and not the theme. We talked about that themes can be applied to everyone. We talked about that on Tuesday, and he talked about that a lot in his video. He said that some themes are obvious, so sometimes you read a book and a theme is just going to come out really quickly, and some are not. You have to think a little deeper about what that theme is. He gave you 3 steps to finding the theme. So the first one is look at how the main character changes. So he called it the protagonist, but we're going to call it the main character. So look at how the main character changes. What do they learn? And then when you think about what did they learn, how did they change, substitute you for the main character. So what did you learn? How could you change if you know that theme? You're going to look at the main conflict or the problem in the story. What's going on? What is the big issue that needs to be resolved? The character might state the theme of the story. He gave us an example from The Incredibles where she talked about families working together. This isn't going to be something that's super common. You're not going to have a lot of books that just give you the theme like that, but sometimes it could happen. And themes are going to be different based on who is reading the story. So based on what I think the theme is or what you think the theme is, it may be different based on our own life. So you may think the theme is something different from your classmates or your teachers, and that doesn't mean you're wrong or they're wrong. They just have different life experiences than you do. So in your reading classroom today, you are looking for something called Thursday Theme Puzzles. It is a Google Slides. When you open it up, it looks like this. You have 3 directions, so let's read them together. It says, read each story. While you are reading, think of the possible themes for the story. Number 2, look through the cards and find a theme that best matches each story. So place any themes that don't match in the discard pile. So let's talk about what that looks like. When you go to slide 2, slide 3, and slide 4, it will look like this. Each slide has 3 short reading passages for you to read. And then you have a pile of cards here. You can click and drag them just like this. So as you are reading, if you come across a passage that has the theme of having faith in yourself, you are going to place it where it says place theme here or here or here, wherever that theme goes. Now, if none of your passages have that theme, you're going to place it into the discard pile so that you can open up more themes and you can click and drag, okay? So each of your slides is going to have 6 theme cards and 3 passages. So you are going to have 3 discards in your discard pile, and then you're going to have a theme on each one. Now you are doing the same thing for all 3 slides. So you're reading each passage and thinking about what is the theme, what is the author telling me, and then you are going to find the card that matches the theme. Now, 4th graders, I'm going to give you a trick that I would use if I was doing this assignment. I would go ahead and I would pull all of my theme cards out like this so that you can see each one of them. So as you are reading, you could match them up easier instead of having them all in the same pile where you can't see each card. So as you're reading, I would go through, and this is not a hint, I'm just placing them randomly. I would go through and I would place them where they need to be, and then I would go back and put my cards into the discard pile. Okay. Now, if you accidentally delete a card or something happens, make sure that you hit this back button, this undo button, and that should bring the card back to where it needs to be. When you are done, make sure you hit that mark as done or submit button so that your teacher knows you are finished. Just a reminder, you do have a theme anchor chart, and this is an updated anchor chart from the first time we did theme in your reading classroom under reading resources. And another reminder that I will have office hours from 2:30 to 3 o'clock this afternoon. If you have any questions about this week's assignments, last week's assignments, or if you get confused while you are working on this theme puzzle, because I know this is a little different than what we are used to doing, I will be there and can answer any questions for you. Good job, 4th graders. I hope you have a great long weekend, and I will see you on Tuesday.